Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video, and I'm here to talk about your president. Is this mess as crazy as it seems? You know, we're only 170 days in. Every time I do one of these videos, I tell y'all, can you imagine what the next 4 years are going to be like if this man is not impeached before the 4 years are up? The last few weeks, it's been something every single day with him. You know, all these people that he has surrounding him, these are not Washington elite. These are flunkies. And this past week, when James Comey testified, let me say this. I don't know, like, if he was 100% truthful when he gave his testimony, but let me just put it this way. I believe about 70% of what he said. And the only reason why I don't believe the other 30% is because there are things that he can't say, out in the public forum. But I do believe that Donald Trump asked him for his loyalty. And the reason why I say that is because Donald Trump strikes me as the type of man that all the people that surround him, he wants them loyal to him, no dissenters. And he wants to be like the head kingpin, almost like a Mafia don. And he wants to be the smartest in the room, the strongest in the room, the richest in the room. And he wants all the people around him to kind of bow down to him. That's the kind of tease I get from this president. When I look at the way that the White House is being run now, with all this confusion, I can't do anything but shake my head. And the sad part about it is I think that Donald Trump is one of those type of people that thrives on confusion. But the only problem is that confusion involves the rest of us because God, and I hate to say this, it kills me to even say that. It's because he's the president of the United States. He is supposed to be our leader, which every time I think about that, I just find it unbelievable. I wonder what the rest of the world thinks of us now, us as a people. You know, a couple weeks ago, this fool went on his little whirlwind tour. What was the G7, G8, G22 that he went to? And he embarrassed us in front of the whole world. And sometimes I wonder, does he reflect on the things that he said or done? Does he have anyone around him that says, you know what, when you went over there, you showed your natural ass? Does he have anyone who is bold enough to say that? Because some of the things that he says, some of the things he's done, he cannot be listening to the people around him that's supposed to advise him. These generals, these people, these flunkies that he has around him, to me, they came in strong. When you heard about their different careers and all of that stuff, they had very good careers, but it's like once they get into his administration, they become little wimps. And I'm wondering, what is he saying to them that has everybody milly mouth, for lack of a better word? And they're supporting all this crazy shit that he's doing and saying. And, they're interviewing his supporters after 170 days in. Even with all of this information that's coming out about Russia and all the confusion that he's created in Washington, you know what? They still support him. I don't think there's anything that he could do that would lose their support. Because, first of all, he set the stage when he was running. When he kept on saying fake media, fake news, this is fake, that's fake, he drummed that into their ears. And then it was all these fake stories on the internet, and those people read that. And it's like they can't think for themselves and they can't reason things out. But when he was setting that stage, he was setting the stage for when he got into office. So now he's in, they're all brainwashed, though they can't see it. And now, even though all of these investigators and FBI and all this stuff is telling these people, he's a liar, he's a fraud, he's a oilsman or whatever you call it. He's profiting from the presidency. His children are profiting from the presidency. He's going golfing every weekend. They don't believe anything negative that's said about him. They don't believe any of our governmental agencies like the FBI, the CIA. They don't believe any of that. Everything that he says, y'all, they believe it. And what I'm afraid of is these blind followers, these sheep that are blindly following him. They are going to get so riled up, which, we already got white folk gone wild because, they're running around spitting in people's faces, punching people, doing all kind of crazy stuff, yelling out the N-word, starting fights with people, saying this is Trump's America and all this stuff. He's already got them all riled up to the point that somebody is going to get seriously hurt. Because we got a person in the White House who has no sense of decorum. He doesn't even want to let the people in Washington who understand government, he doesn't even want to listen to anything that they have to say. And to me, it seems like in the next 4 years, he's going to run this country down. When he gets out of office, we're going to be ragged than a motherfucker, y'all. That's the only way I can say it. We're going to be raggedier than a motherfucker. Because when you watch him on television, when you watch him when he's having a press conference and he's answering questions, he's so combative, with the media. And the media, y'all, they're not squeaky clean, but they're all we have to expose some of the shit that he's doing, some of the shit that he's getting us involved in, and just all this craziness. Is it just me, or do y'all see that our country is like, right now, y'all, I am holding my head because I don't even have a description for it. Things are starting off pretty bad, and I predict it's only going to get worse. I look at this man, I look at, excuse me, his family, I look at Washington, I look at the White House. It's just all crazy, and it's a ball of confusion. And we got this fool heading it up. He knows nothing about government, and he doesn't want to let the people that at least have some clue about government advise him. And then I was riding in my car the other day, and I was on NPR, listening to the radio on NPR, and they were talking about all of the positions in the federal government that aren't filled. I think they said it was like over 400 positions that Donald Trump's administration still has not filled. Now, Donald Trump will say, oh, they're blocking all of my people that I'm, you know, nominating or whatever. But what they said is, we're not blocking anything. He hasn't sent anyone to us to confirm. And then they also said that a lot of people are a little nervous about applying for jobs with this administration because of all the confusion, because of the all the investigations are going on. People don't want to be involved in that shit. They don't want to mess up their careers. And even with everything that's going on with this Russia stuff, do you know that they said that he was out looking for attorneys to represent him in any upcoming, claims against him, when it comes to Russia, and he couldn't find? Well, a lot of attorneys' offices don't want to represent him. I mean, really? You would think that if the president of the United States came to your firm and he asked for representation, you would be honored to represent him because it's the president. But these attorneys' offices, they don't want anything to do with him. And you know what's funny about that? Because attorneys, you know, we say that they're crooked and they're liars, and they don't even want to represent him. They don't want any parts of him. They don't want it to sully their firms. This is crazy, y'all. And sometimes I sit here and I'm wondering, across America, are y'all looking at this stuff and saying, this shit is confusing and crazy? It's like our government has turned into a cartoon. We went from 8 years of relative peace and somebody, like I said, in the White House that had some sense. Now, you may not have agreed with everything Barack Obama did, but at least he was reasonable and you could kind of watch television and understand some of the things that he was doing, or at least say, well, I might not agree with him, but I'm understanding what he's trying to do. But this man, you know, gets mad if you question him, leaving people. He's having meetings in the Oval Office, and because, he's being asked questions right in the middle of an interview, he gets up and walks out and tells them, bring my papers, his little flunkies. And they are left to say, well, I guess he's done for the day. What kind of shit is this, y'all? This man, yes, he's the president, but he works for us. He serves at the pleasure of the American people. And when I look at our country and all the stuff that's going on, at some point you're like, what the hell? Y'all, I guess I just came in here today to see if anyone else is confused by this administration, worried about what he could get us into, and just scratching your head at some of the nonsense that is going on in Washington. And if we're starting off this way, we're only 170 days or so in, y'all. What is the next 4 years gonna be like? If they're gonna impeach this man, I'll be so glad when they get going, because I am so fucking tired of the confusion he's causing and worried about him upsetting some other country that has some military and they send some shit to us fucking with him, because North Korea is not playing with us. They said they're practicing and they're trying to get their bomb together so they can get it to America, but they made us a promise that they're coming for us. They're not threatening us anymore. That little North Korean guy, Ching Chong-un, I don't know his real name, but he is saying, look, I'm not playing with y'all. Now, I threatened y'all in the past, but this is a promise. I'm coming for America. Soon as I get my shit together, I'm coming for y'all. You know? He's so busy fielding off Russia shit because his administration is so crooked that he does not even have time to focus on stuff that is important to us. Every good thing that helps us, it's like he's tearing it down. When they were at CPAC or whatever that um, meeting that the Republicans go to every year, and they said that their goal was the deconstruction of the American state. I think that's what they said. That's exactly what they're doing, y'all. And and I just pray that when it's time to re-elect these congressmen and senators and all of that, that we go vote. Because right now we have a Republican president, a Republican House, a Republican Senate. There's no stopping him because these Republicans, they're not worried about country. For them, it's not about country. They've put party over country, and they're sticking together. And we have got to get some Democrats in there so we can kind of push back on some of the craziness that this man might do in the next 4 years. So I know this. I have voted ever since I was 18 years old, and I have drummed it in my kids. Sometimes if I'm not, in a rush to vote, they will worry me to death all day. Did you vote, Mom? Did you vote? Did you vote? I went to vote. Did you vote? But I'm glad they're like that because they're starting off with a desire to vote and to be a part of this democracy. I remember when Barack Obama was elected, my daughter was about 13, 14 or so. And when I went into the booth, I had to take her to school that day. And what I did is I let her push the button for him. So she would remember that and say, when the first black president was elected, my mom let me push the button, for him. And she would be able to tell her kids. And I think what it does when you involve them, these young people, in this democratic process is it puts a fire in them. When you educate them and make them understand how important it is to vote, you may not like the candidates, but do your part, because when you look at Washington now, y'all, it is a freaking mess. Anyone who can sit back right now and look at Washington and say, oh, it'll work itself out, oh, things are going fine, something is wrong with them. That's why I say when I look at these Trump supporters, they'll do a thing, man on the street, and they'll stop someone and say, did you vote for Donald Trump? And then they'll say, yeah, and explain how they think he's doing such a wonderful job and blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there at home like, are these people insane? Because the man that we got in the White House is a raving lunatic, and they think he's doing a wonderful job. Y'all, I don't know. But I just want to see, is it just me, or are the rest of y'all out there seeing this shit that they got in the White House and in Washington? I'm gonna get out of here. Let me know down in the comments, cause Lord, we in for it. Pray for America, child. I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks as always for watching. You have a great day now. Bye bye.